Okay, everybody. Well, welcome back to a new Reader's Warehouse Recommends. I'm Thomas from Reader's Warehouse, and we hope you're keeping warm wherever you are after this weekend's rain and snow. We are live every Monday at 12 o'clock talking about books, either talking about adult or children's titles. And this week we're talking about children's titles. Joining us today, we have Mariska Lowe from John and Bull Publishers. We have Francis Thorndike from Macmillan South Africa. We have Marianne Viljoen from Penguin Random House, South Africa, and Emma Kirkby from Scholastic. So thank you so much all for joining us today. How it's going to work, we're going to be doing 3 rounds of book recommendations, and each round, one of these wonderful people are going to suggest a title to us. We'll have the link in the comment section of the title, the author, and link to our website for each book. And then later today on our website, www.readerswarehouse.co.za, we'll have all the titles on a blog post. You'll be able to find it there just scrolling on our homepage. And then at the end, I'm just going to highlight our 5 top-selling children's titles for the past 2 weeks at Reader's Warehouse. So we haven't decided on the rounds yet. So I don't know, Francis, you want to go first? And we have Marianne, then Emma, and then Mariska. So Francis, over to you for your first title.
Okay, well, I'm going to go, because guess what I'm presenting? Dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
It's
like a month's rent.
Oh, wow.
It's heavy. So, if you don't know about BTS, this is a 10-year record. They produced 9 albums, and they won the Billboard, the MTV, the People's Choice Awards. And the first K-pop group to make a #1 hit on Billboard's album charts. So they're
so pretty.
And made it like mainstream. And what's so cool about this book, besides it being hefty, is that it's got QR codes to videos never seen before. There's 40 photos in here, some of them without makeup. I just want to show you 2 spreads. I don't want to bend it because it's so precious. But can you see that, guys? There they are, 7 of them. I'll show you one more. So the official release was yesterday, and there's been a lot on social media. So there's 40 different photographs in here. And what makes this different from other BTS books, because everyone says, well, there's been other BTS books. This is in their own words. This is them actually telling their own story, from how they started, how they met, what they think of other band members. It's a must. It's a must for Christmas.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm noticing it's not kids, actually. I'm noticing adults buying this, by the way. So
yeah, they say that this is a must-have. For anyone who is a fan, this is a must-have. You got to have this in your collection.
Absolutely, it's the genuine article.
Yeah, and well done to Pam Millen for getting us the book on release day, international release day. So we had our stock yesterday, so it's so exciting to have it. And I think all our pre-orders have been dispatched now. So yeah, fantastic, really fantastic to have that book. So yeah, thanks so much. All right, Marianne, over to you for your first title.
Thank you. Right, share it. Right, the first one, I've got quite a different range today. The first one is a non-fiction title, one of our Strake titles, Kids Birds of Southern Africa. It comes in English, in Afrikaans, and in isiZulu. It's actually the second in the series. The first one we did was on snakes. As you can see, it's very lively, jam-packed book that covers over 60 of Southern Africa's most interesting bird groups. I think I have a spread somewhere. Look at that. So full of lots of facts and sort of did you knows. You can learn about how to identify different birds and discover their interesting behaviors, like how they find food and how they choose mates or how they build a nest and things like that. It's got over 500 very stunning photographs, as you can see, interspersed with some illustrations. And beautiful, beautiful. So there's a spread from the English title, and I have one on parrots and things, hornbills in Afrikaans, and there's a lovely page about owls in isiZulu. They're really magnificent. They're large format and just absolutely beautiful.
Oh, wonderful. I know the snake one is so popular, and I mean, I know there's so many adult birding fanatics out there, so it's so great to get something for children, you know, to maybe learn the teaching about birds and, you know, becoming interested in nature. So yeah, wonderful.
Absolutely, yes.
And the age group for these, Marianne, would you say it's like 10 plus, or what age do you think?
Oh, I think like 6 to 15, almost. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. Great. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Emma, over to you for your first title.
Oh, let me just share my screen here. So I'm going to start off with one of our picture and novelty books. So this is All the Things You Will Do from Lucy Rowland, who's very popular with us here at Scholastic. We love her, but she's got illustrations this time by Neely Daggett. So this is just a really lovely book to start your life with. You know, I think it's nice for kids, but also for their parents as well. So it's all the things that you'll do in your life. You know, sometimes I look down at you in the morning when you're a baby and I imagine all the things that you're going to do in your life, whether it's singing, creating, dancing, you know, exploring, researching, you know, all these new things. So it's from that sort of aspect as well, but also for kids to read as well, for them to have these inspiring and encouraging messages of look at all the things that you can do, look at all the things you have to look forward to in life. It's got these really gorgeous illustrations. I've just got one there. So you see it's really colourful and bright, and just really lovely, all different things ranging from painting and, you know, that one's a bit fuzzy, I think there. But yeah, so they might worry a little bit, but it's okay, because we're here their parents are there to encourage them and support them in all the things that they're going to do. So it's just really, really lovely and pretty and perfect for every member of the family, not just kids.
It reminds me very much like the Dr. Seuss or the places you'll go, like almost something like that line. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Oh, no, wonderful. So cool. Thanks so much for that. All right, Varishka, over to you for your title.
Okay, let's see if I can share my screen. Yes, I've clicked share. Can you see it?
It's loading. Yeah, we got it.
Ah, yes.
It's a miracle. Okay. So we have a new David Walliams. You know, he literally just drops in. It feels like that should be like all one word. And so the last one we had in the world's worst was the pets one, which did quite well for us. And so this time he has brought us monsters, but not all necessarily bad monsters, or maybe you've even heard of them. So there's a bat baby. There is the abominable nice snowman. There is the true story of the Loch Ness monster. There is my favorite, Frank and Teddy. I think we've all had one of those. I had a doll that my mom had to get out of my hands and then fix at night and then kind of put back, because I used to put her in the bath and she was made of fabric, so she didn't last very long. Yeah, so I think it's just a really nice, can you see I'm trying to share the second slide with you.
Here we go, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Very well illustrated. Adam Stover is such an amazing illustrator, so I think he's really just bringing such an extra joy and giggles to the story. Yeah, that's my first one.
Yeah. What I also heard about this is that where the other titles were all cautionary tales, these ones are actually just really like funny, like stories, yes. You know, which is a bit different. Yeah. And I think that's also
it's the backstory, the truth behind the myth.
And I think that, you know, that like monsters are all perennial favorites, and I think even now, you know, I think these are great.
No, I think he's clever moving away from humans.
Yeah, and I think Pets was brilliant. Pets was such a fantastic seller last year. That was a great one. So yeah, and that's just come out now in our stores. We'll literally have it in our stores today.
It's just literally dropping.
Great, perfect. Thanks so much, Varishka. Okay, Francis, over to you for your second title.
Okay, I went from the extremely beautiful to the extremely talented. So I don't know if you see, but this is book 6 in the Investigators series, featuring Mango and Brash, 2 very different alligators. And in this one, there is artist heist. Well, a painting is stolen, but Brash is convinced he can just make a replica, you know, just splash things on canvas and it's going to, reach $1 million, which of course it doesn't. It's pretty awful. But there's lots of little asides, and I was told by several kids that Investigators is now one of their favorite graphic novel series. It took a while to get there because obviously Dogman and the others, were huge. But I think Investigators is inching in, and it's nice to know that there's 6 spreads of this, and they all belong to Suit, which is a detective agency, and we're going to meet other characters that join Suit. There was a comedian that changes color that's also joined Suit. So I think there's a lot we can do with this series, and for reluctant readers, it's just perfect. Very punny.
Yeah. A lot of funny joke puns, investigation puns, and then alligator puns, which is great as well. So yeah. No, we can't highly recommend that series enough. And if there's anyone, they read The Dogman or they're looking for another graphic novel series, then that's just a fantastic one to suggest. So thanks so much, Francis, for that. Yeah. We're looking forward to the next one as well, coming out later this year. So yeah. Very exciting. Yeah. All right, Marianne, over to you.
Thank you. All right. I'm sticking with the nature theme, I think, for book 2, with A Very Hungry Caterpillar. So this is, kids get to go on this amazing adventure with a very hungry caterpillar and learn fascinating facts about animals. So as you can see, there are charming, charming illustrations. Different chapters. I wish I had more spreads to show you. I couldn't find any online and I don't have an actual copy, but different chapters focus on different animal types. And then basically every page will feature a new creature. So lots of great, sort of a one-of-a-kind introduction to nature, done with A Very Hungry Caterpillar. I think it's a very large format book. It's a great price. I think it's something like 200 and something rand, Thomas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think 285, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, large format, lots of pages, hardcover. So really, really fun.
Yeah, and I think Eric Cole's illustration is so iconic, and oh, there you go, wow.
Yeah. With some photographs as well, which is nice.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be stunning. I think it's such a great book for kids to learn about animals. And the age group for this, you think, Marianne? Do you think it's
from like 3 and up?
For everyone. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, no, his illustrations are just amazing. What an amazing book. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Emma, over to you.
So I'm gonna join Francis in the graphic novel space, but maybe for slightly older here. So this is Four Eyes from Rex Oracle. It is a wonderful coming of age tale. Again, we know graphic novels are just gaining popularity all over the place, from young kids all the way through up to sort of early teens, especially for like reluctant readers. So it's got lots of beautiful illustrations in it, very classic sort of graphic novel style from Dave Veleza. So it's about a boy called Rex. So this is sort of the author's sort of almost real experience of growing up, and he's joined 6th grade, and he's got absolutely no chance of becoming popular or getting on with school and not being bullied. And now that his family he's now discovered that he needs glasses, and his family can only afford the ugliest ones in the store. So he's got to compete with the fact that he's got a best friend who's not very reliable and maybe doesn't help him out when he needs it, when he's being bullied. There's a cute girl in his class he can't stop thinking about, but with their glasses, all chances of that, he's sure, have gone out the window. And a family who are just like, oh no, you look beautiful, you're so cute and you look great. And that's not how it works when you're in the 6th grade. So a real coming of age story of surviving all these traumas and the things that you have to go through. And so yeah, it's really, really lovely from Rex, and I really love this one.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. And I've seen this book everywhere, like on social media, it's been promoted like heavily. So I think it's going to be a really great little graphic novel.
Definitely.
Perfect. Thanks
As
so much,
the
Emma.
person on here with glasses, I will just say that is a very real thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was about 11 when I got my first pair, and you feel like a freak.
Yeah, I remember when I got my first glasses as well. I didn't want them, and then you had to get them. Contact lenses were not available in that time. So.
Also, it's hard when you're a kid, you so desperately want to fit in but you also want to stand out, but you want to fit in. So you know, it's yeah.
It's the fine line. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything with glasses, I'm always like, yes.
Yes.
more
Yeah.
glasses. I know.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Vrishka, over to you for your second title.
Okay, so let's see if I can do this again. I seem to have managed it once. I've just nearly deleted you all. Okay, hold on. I'm so bad at screen share. You'd think I would have gotten better by now, but no. Okay. The epic new Skandar. So we're getting really nice pricing on this. So it's the hardcovers, but priced pretty well in today's market, I suppose. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Okay. So Skandar is huge. It's one of the UK's big series, and so we did pretty well with book 1, and so I think book 3 is up next year. So we're hoping book 2 will continue. The covers are also so majestical. It is very much, if you think Aragon meets Percy Jackson, it's that kind of, so it is mythical, but it's also more about something that a creature that is yours in a way. So in the first book, so what pretty much happens is unicorns roam free and they pick their riders. So in the first story, we have Skandar, who desperately wants to become a rider. He doesn't get picked, but then a massive battle ensues and he kind of steals a unicorn. Now it's sort of proven by book 2 that they do belong together, but now someone is killing off the wild, who's supposedly immortal unicorns on the island, and obviously Skandar, it's their second year at school, so they very much believe that they can fix anything. And also he has a younger sister, Kenna, who desperately wants to become a unicorn rider, so he also wants to do what's best for her. Yeah, so lots of drama. Nice and chunky reads. I'd say 9+ if you're a confident reader, but like I'd say 9 to 13 probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and these have these amazing epic battles in the sky, which everyone talks about, how these unicorns, they're vicious, they're almost like dragons, and how they have these amazing battles in the sky, which is just just so well written. That this lady author,
and the author is quite young, and she does like lots of online stuff and talks about it. We don't, so obviously we're very far for school visits, but she does school visits and stuff, and so yeah, she's very much involved with her readers, which is always good.
Yeah, and I think, and the paperback of the first book is now also out. So if you have your children haven't read this book, we have got it, and and the covers are just amazing. I can't wait to see what the third cover is going to look like, because it has like a green background at the moment to be revealed.
Yes, I've always also wondered if that's a secret. When you're like, does it mean? I was thinking yellow. I was thinking it's going to go like golden, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's going to be like a 6-book series or 5-book series or something like that.
Yeah, so I think it's 5. I read somewhere, but yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Great. Thank you so much, Vrishka. All right, we're on to our final round now. So, Francis, over to you for your final book.
Well, you had me at vicious unicorns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, who could resist? Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I too can share. So, hopefully you're looking at the second book. The third book has just come out as well. But I just thought I'd talk broadly about the series, since we've now got 3 books out on the shelf. So Marcus Rashford, hopefully you understand and know who he is. He is the player for Manchester United, but much more than that. He's a philanthropic force, especially when it comes to sort of feeding schemes in schools, because he grew up in a very small apartment with a single parent and 5 brothers and sisters. And the breakfast club is actually part of what he went to as a kid. So he was actually started the breakfast club when he was 11. You're supposed to start much later, but his mom really pushed for him to start at 11. And that meant he got free meals at school, which he really needed, because he was even then really involved in soccer and the team and trying out for various clubs. And so groups of kids would get together first thing in the morning before school in the school sort of cafeteria, and they'd be given, porridge and an apple and some juice, and that kind of sustained them through lunch, and they'd be given a sandwich. but he did meet a team of kids during breakfast time, which he called the Breakfast Club. So that's actually him as the main character in all these books. And this team of boys and girls sort of solved mysteries. You know, in book 1, they kicked a soccer ball over the fence into this abandoned house with sort of overgrown weeds, and no one's ever been in there, and they venture in there. In book 2, there's a sort of a mysterious ghost or someone at school who's messing with the various basketball courts and making balls disappear and changing scores. And I won't ruin book 3 for you, because I think that's actually the best one. It's just built and built and built. So if you like sort of middle grade solving mysteries, very diverse characters, and also his whole mission is to get reluctant readers to read. So it's a lot of action, nice big easy words, black and white illustrations. It's really something you can dive into. And just remember, now there's 3 books, so you can really go for it. So I think it's a great series, and one that tends to be overlooked a bit. I think book 1 was hooked on books. So somebody out there recognized the greatness, but I think there's still a lot of readers out there who haven't discovered this series, and they're in for a treat.
Yeah, I think what's also great is when it's a children's mystery, you know, they're reading the book to solve the mystery and see if they can solve it themselves and then find out the outcome. And I think there has been quite a few children's like mystery novels coming from middle grade. I know Varishka's had a few, Marianne, Scholastic. So and I also really like these covers as well, and they're really great. And yeah, we also can't highly recommend them enough. And I see it says 8 to 11, so that's the age group to focus it on.
Yeah, I'd say more like 9 to 12. You know, we're a little bit behind the UK
Yeah.
in our reading ages, I think.
Okay, wonderful, perfect. Thanks so much, Francis, for that. Okay, Marianne, over to you for your final title.
Thank you. So my last book is a picture flat called Mina and the Big Bite. This is a wonderful picture book about Mina. She's a little monster. She's has lots of sharp teeth, and sometimes when she's really stressed, she uses them on her friends. So I think that there are many parents with toddlers who will relate to this book. I think I have some wonderful pictures here you can see. So obviously biting in young children is quite common. And this story shows that there are other ways to process feelings when it all gets a bit too much. The back of the book actually features a list of practical coping methods for toddlers as well to use. And you can see the illustrations are very fun and playful. And there's some humorous details in the images too for children to spot. And the writing is very gentle, it's very reassuring, the tone. And the idea is that it's helping toddlers recognize and then manage their very complex emotions. So very, very cute.
Very good. We actually had a customer years ago asking us about a book about their child was biting, you know, other children and what could they do, and we couldn't find any books. So I'm glad that something is now like come out. So this is almost going to be like a stock standard title, you know, for parents asking.
Absolutely, keep it in parenting. Yes.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Marianne. Okay, Emma, over to you for your final title.
Okay. So for my final title, I'm going to go over to Chicken House. You know, I love to talk about Chicken House and all the wonderful things that they do over there. And one of my favourite Chicken House authors is Dan Smith. Dan he's just wonderful. He knows so much about this time period, and he writes it so well for kids to help them understand and to really put them in the shoes of the kids that he's writing about. So he's had lots of books about this time period, along with others as well, but this I think he's really specializes on. So this one's slightly later on, so normally he focuses on World War II, but this is Berlin 1961. So this is during the Cold War, which I don't actually know. I don't think I've come across many children's titles around this for this age group, sort of the 9+ that would be around about this sort of topic. And I know that I don't really remember studying a lot of it at school, so I think it's something else that kids can learn about. It is on the Key Stage 2 curriculum in the UK, but that's a relatively new thing. So it's got real world research and a variety of media. It's really, really good for the classroom. But I do also just believe that it is good for kids to read about in their own time, you know. And Dan's writing is just fantastic for drawing you in, drawing kids in, and me. But so these are two cousins who are best friends, but they have had a wall, the Berlin Wall has been built between their apartment blocks. So they are such good friends, such even as cousins, that they even own a cat together called Otto. And it turns out that Otto can actually get over the wall. He's found a route to get between the two sides. So if he can do it, then maybe they can get to each other as well. So it's this separation that was felt. You really feel it when you're reading it. So it's just a really lovely story of perseverance and, you know, not being held back from finding your friends and making sure that you can be together even in the hardest of times. So again, Dan's writing is just brilliant, and I think it's a great book.
Yeah, and I think the story sounds fantastic. I think this will do very nicely.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Emma. All right, Varishka, over to you for your final title.
And then lastly, if you can see it.
Yep.
It's a great new middle grade adventure, The Kingdom Over the Sea. Story of a young girl who her mother passes away, and her mom leaves a letter saying, you know, that she's sorry that she has to do this by herself, but here are the instructions for this quest that she has to go on. So she doesn't understand. She's only ever known this little village where they live, and now her mom is sending her off to this city. But when she gets there, of course, she's unsure of who to trust or what to do. But magic has been outruled. The new sort of king hates magic, but yet all the things her mother is sending her to do are all around, you know, wizardry and magic and sorceress and alchemy. And so she starts making friends and finding out who is on her side, but she's also figuring out who her mom was, who she didn't know, and why her mom left the city years ago for her own safekeeping, which she doesn't realize in the beginning. Great adventure. Really, I mean, there's obviously, you know, the cover is magical, but from the cover, you know, there's a lot of, it evokes many other covers that are similar. But I quite like the fact that she has to believe in herself mostly. You know, it's her doing this for herself more than anything else, and for her mom. So it does have a little bit of a more modern feel to it, although it's set in fantasy. And also, I would say 9 to 12.
No, it's it gives me a lot of like Aladdin vibes, like a magic carpet and the palace. It's
That's
just
the
like
carpet. The carpet is tricking you. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, well, thank you everyone for those 3 rounds of amazing children's book recommendations. Some really amazing books that have come out at the moment. I think children are going to be spoiled for choice. Such amazing titles for all those different age groups. I'm just going to share our top 5 titles for the past 2 weeks of Reader's Warehouse. It's I think because it's school holidays, it's been this really different mix of titles that have been selling. But book 5 and 4 are both books in this TikTok series that sold very well last year, and it seems to be selling really well now again. The Jennifer Lynn Barnes series. So book 1 is our 5th best-selling book at the moment, and then book 2 is our 4th best-selling book at the moment. It's quite interesting that these have become. I don't know if there's been news about them. I don't know. I know, Marianne, there's a 4th book coming out shortly. So
yeah,
I don't know if
perhaps,
that's the reason.
yeah, the news is obviously out that the Hawthorne Brothers is coming out in October. Yeah. And I think that's probably why this will be an upsurge again.
Yeah, and those have been our book 5 and 4. Book 3 is the latest Rick Riordan title in this new series he started, The Sun and the Star. Number 2, this is a screening books for school holidays. The Inkable series and this Dinosaur Roars. This is the Magic Pen series that sells very, very well. Really activity. I think many people who go on holiday and things like that, this is like a must buy. So for car trips and plane trips and things like that. And then number 1 still at the moment is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which just seems to constantly sell and sell and sell. Really excited, of course, for book 18 coming out. I think it's in October. But yeah, still our best-selling children's book. It's been most of the year, our best-selling children's title. So that is it for this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We'll be back next Monday live with adult titles. Until then, we hope you have a wonderful week and happy reading, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Keep well. Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Thomas.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
joining. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.